Hello strangers! Finally I have made it home after 3 weeks in hospital, and I wanted to sit down and explain kind of properly what happened to me and why everything became so serious so quickly. I have my lovely husband with me, and he's going to help me with some of the big medical term words and also give a little bit of his side of what it was like for him with me having to be in hospital so quick and having to deal with everything for 3 weeks while I was in there. So if you want to find out more, please keep watching.
Strangers, welcome to Star Ravens. Gothic eternity. Gothic eternity. Gothic eternity. Gothic eternity. Gothic eternity. Gothic eternity. Gothic eternity.
So the husband's going to help with some long words, medical words. I'm not 100% myself yet. And yeah, I'll let you know all about this as we go on through the video. So I had what was called a
Peritonitis, caused by a perforated gastric ulcer.
So obviously now that sounds huge and frightening. And yeah, hear what it actually means in normal language. So I had a sore inside my stomach. That sore is called an ulcer. Instead of it healing, it got worse and worse until it made a hole in the wall of my stomach.
Not just in the wall, in your actual stomach.
Well, yes, a hole in my actual stomach. And when that hole happened, things that should have stayed inside my stomach then leaked out into the rest of my
abdomen.
So your body really hates that because...
So it causes a dangerous infection and inflammation. And that is what peritonitis is. Once that starts, it's an emergency. Things go downhill very fast.
So, the night it happened, we did have to call an ambulance. And I did have to go into surgery. Quite an emergency surgery. So, let's talk about when I went into hospital. So it all started on Friday the 16th of January, and yeah, I had a live that night, which was something I didn't really want to do, but I felt like I needed to. And yeah, I had a stream and I continuously said I didn't feel well, and I was complaining about pain, and I'd been sick for 5 days. I do have some little clips from that live so you can see the pain that I was in. I am quite good at hiding my pain levels, and yeah, so you can see it though throughout the stream if you do watch it back. And I mentioned some very strange things too.
I haven't got like a lot of energy right now, so my brain doesn't want to work at all. I think Regan would be the best one at the moment because I just need to eat some mushy peas and I'll be there. I think my head would probably spin as well. Oh, it's horrible. I'm so bad because you got to think, like, yesterday I had... What did I eat yesterday? I didn't eat anything yesterday. And the day before that, I ate something and I was sick, and the day before that I ate something and I was sick, and yeah, and today I ate something and I was sick, so it's got very quiet. Or when I'm at the hospital looking at my phone, probably. Maybe I've got an infection. Perhaps I'll get some antibiotics or something. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully things will come together and I'll be happy ever after.
Like, I needed to have antibiotics, which is something I never say. And just weird things. Also, I had another weird experience before this happened. I used a voodoo doll, and this is going to sound very odd, but when I was using it, I was trying not to think of anyone, and yeah, it's just plays with your mind a bit. So yeah, be careful with them. So after the stream that night, we had a food delivery shop, and as you guys know, I didn't eat anything for days. I was so hungry and so thirsty that I got this pot of jelly, and I was like, I will have that as a treat after streaming. So I slurped that down, and then as soon as that went down inside my stomach, I had the worst pain possible. And my poor husband, I was crying, I couldn't hardly breathe. And yeah, my lovely husband had to call out an ambulance. What time was that?
That was at 1 o'clock in the morning that I called the ambulance. 3 paramedics came busting in the house, swarming around my poor wife, giving her morphine and all the pain medication, asking her loads of questions, but she was in too much pain to answer any of the questions, so I had to answer them the best I could. And then they whisked you off up to hospital, didn't they? Your first ever ride in an ambulance.
My first ever ride in an ambulance. So yeah, we had to get your mum to come over.
Yep, had to call my mother down in the middle of the night to come and look after the kids. I didn't want to wake any of them up and panic them. It was tough.
It was scary. It was so lucky she could come out at that time. If it was any later, I don't think it would have been hard, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So
well,
yeah,
later it was 1 o'clock in the
we're
morning.
very
I
grateful.
did wake her up.
We're so grateful for her for that, and yeah, we're just lucky that we could have someone there for the kids in that emergency. You can do the next bit.
Okay, so after we got to the hospital, we spent a good long amount of hours in accident and emergency.
I don't remember any of this.
No, they were just constantly dosing her up on pain medication. And then she had intravenous drips of fluids whilst drinking water, because obviously where she hadn't been keeping anything down for probably close to a couple of weeks. Yeah, they were just trying to refuel her while they worked out what was going on. You had a scan where they found what was wrong with you. And that's when they decided she had a hole in her stomach. And then it all went crazy from there. Lots of visits from surgeons and doctors and anaesthetists. You were constantly getting weighed and blood tests, and you had to have a tube up your nose, which you were so brave about. The poor nurse, you kept on slapping his hand away and trying to do it yourself.
Oh yeah, because you kept on stopping when it was scratching on the back of my throat.
So with the surgery, they said they were going to do a laparoscopic surgery, which is essentially keyhole surgery with small cuts, a camera, and instruments. They repaired the hole and they cleaned out all the infection that they could, and then told me they would do keyhole surgery, but they did tell me the news to begin with that I would be having a big cut and having a different surgery to start with, which sounded much more serious and dangerous than the keyhole surgery actually was. So I am very lucky that I actually managed to get the keyhole surgery and not to have the whole opening of my stomach, basically. That's what they were telling me. And it sounded like they needed to keep the surgery open for hours and a lot more risks to the surgery happening. They did say that you had a 20% chance of dying on the operating table, and you had to sign waivers and
I literally had to sign my life away for this. And so I even had to make recordings for my kids in case I died, which of course was very upsetting for my husband. But it was something I felt like I needed to do, because obviously if anything did happen to me, that would have been the last time they would have heard from me. So as you can imagine, just even that part of this journey was heartbreaking for both of us.
It was the most difficult thing I've ever had to hear in my whole life.
So anyway, so they ended up using tiny little cameras and looking inside my body on screens and, yeah, fixing the hole in my stomach basically with keyhole surgery.
In her case, they had to find the hole that Ulcer had made in her stomach. Once they located it, they closed it and they washed out the infection that had leaked into her abdomen.
Also, they pumped a little gas into the stomach during the operation. This gently lifts the wall so they can work safely. That gas is eventually why a lot of people, me included, get shoulder pain. My shoulders have been hurting, aching, and it's the worst thing about this. It sounds strange, but it's very common. The benefit of doing the surgery, the way I had it, is that the cuts are a lot smaller, obviously, than having my whole stomach cut open. There's less trauma to the body, and the recovery can be a lot faster than a large cut. I would be probably in hospital still even now. But this has still been, of course, major surgery inside my body, and I've still been through something very huge. And honestly, it has saved my life. And after that, of course, becomes the long part. Recovering in the hospital, the antibiotics, the pain, the tiredness of just everything that's happened, and just trying to get strong enough to get home. So let me tell you some of the emotions and things I have felt throughout this. I must tell you, this was the most scariest time in my life. There were moments I felt confused, overwhelmed, and very, very small, and it was very scary. There were moments where I felt confused, overwhelmed, and very small. At one point, honestly thought I was just going to go mad. I had intense dreams, and then I woke up, and they haven't connected to my real life at all, so I'm just basically traumatized by my own inner thoughts from being in there. I couldn't make sense, and it terrified me more than I've ever been terrified in my whole life. But since then, I have learned this happens to your body when it's underneath like so much stress, the huge stress that I've been through. And of course, I had infection and surgery and strong medications, and the lack of sleep can affect your brain, and it really did, like in a way I cannot imagine. Like, I can't explain to you how messed up my mind has been over all this. It means that your brain is trying to cope with something enormous, and as I've started to recover, the fog has slowly lifted. But in the moment, it was very frightening for me. And I think I might have been a bit mad at some points throughout my hospital time. But apparently it's very common. So yeah, I've actually experienced real crazy as well. So something I never thought that would happen to me. So yeah, there we go. But I think it was just obviously because of affection and all the medication I was on, and the body was going through so much. And yeah, I slipped into some kind of dream state while I was awake, and I felt like I was basically trapped in a terrifying game, and everyone around me was trying to hurt me, and I felt like everything was completely real in that moment. But yeah, looking back now, I understand it was the part of like when the brain is just under huge stress and how it copes with it. I just knew I was scared. Hospital time moves strangely. You rest, you heal, and you think a lot, too much. But I'm incredibly grateful to be sitting here now talking to you. So how did you feel with me being in that state in the hospital, and how did it affect you?
It was very difficult seeing you the way you were. First of all, seeing you completely sedated and, you know, with tubes coming out of every hole apart from your ears. And then when after they woke you up, seeing you go more and more mad into the state of delusion was one of the most difficult things I've had to endure.
Did you think I've gone crazy?
I knew you'd pull through it. I had 100% faith in you. I wasn't going to leave your side. It wasn't going to change the way I felt about you just because of the things that you were saying. It was just, I knew it was all 100% situational, like down to what you were going through at that time, and I knew you would pull through it. It was just very difficult seeing you in that way and having to sort of restrain you at some points when you were trying to make your grand escapes from hospital.
Had your escape?
Yes, trying to escape pulling the tubes out of her neck and arms, and trying to jump out of bed when she hadn't walked for 2 weeks. And yeah, she was...
So I don't remember any of this,
No.
just what was in my own mind at the time. So, yeah, so my body has been through a lot of trauma, and it's going to take a little bit of time to rebuild my strength back up to what it was. So if I seem a little bit slower or quieter for a while, that's why. And I'm very emotional still. Most of the time in hospital, I did spend just crying. I had some awful experiences after the operation in healing time. For an example, someone died next to me one night. Yeah, and it wasn't nice.
Being an empath, you took that on full force, didn't you?
I did, and some of the people got treated pretty badly.
Yeah, the elderly, more confused patients, we'll put it that way, they weren't treated so well. You could hear the staff getting frustrated and short-tempered with them. And, you know, they can't help it. They're 80, 90 years old and mad as a box of flies, you know, it's...
As the staff in there was some pretty amazing staff, but at the same time, there was some pretty not so nice staff. I can understand it must be the most awfulest job in the world, and they must have so much patience for what they have to go through on a daily basis. But yeah, my time there wasn't as nice and pleasant as it could have been.
It was mostly the night staff that were the rough ones, but at the same time you can kind of understand why they're not so good, as they don't have the full support.
They
of
have
the
a lot of
doctors.
people to look after, and obviously a lot of checks to do on people, and they do have a lot of, you know, work they have to do on their schedules on things as their job. But, you know, sometimes it felt like, you know, some of the patients could have done with a little bit more of care. And yeah, I don't do good with sad people. I pick up on emotions very easily, and when people are in pain or people are sad or angry, I feel them feelings instantly. So for me, being in a place where there's so much of all that going on at one point, it literally broke me, and I was basically crying most nights and really didn't sleep well at all. So yeah, it's wiped me out. It's made my brain different at the moment. It's going to take me a little bit to get back to the strength I had before, I think.
But you'll be stronger.
Hopefully I'll be stronger. But I am still emotional, so yeah, that's going to take a little bit longer.
Well,
We'll get
of course
through it.
is.
We'll get through it.
Of course we will.
One day at a time. It's been so lovely being back home, though. I had no idea something like this would happen like so quickly, and if it wasn't for my husband acting so quickly that night, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. And I appreciate you so much, husband, and you guys. Thank you all so much for sending all your positive like energy at me and things. And I'm sorry I didn't reply straight away. I couldn't even use my phone. It took me like 4 days to learn how to push the buttons on my phone.
The amount of times you drop called me because you didn't quite know what you were doing.
I didn't know how to call or anything, and I made some crazy calls to people, I think, in between while I was in there, because I was not in my state of mind. So yeah, it's been a journey for sure. And yeah, I'm just hoping that my stomach's fixed and I'm not going to be sick anymore.
So yeah, it all turned out to not be the gallbladder stone. All
Yes.
this that she's been going through for the past couple of years was
It's-
not the gallbladder stone at all. It was a big gaping hole in her stomach. It's been there for a long time.
So if you ever have something you think wrong with your stomach, please go check it out for yourself. And yeah, thank you for your messages, your patience, and your kindness while I've been away. But I'm still here, strangers, and I am very thankful for that.
To collect.
Oh yes. Okay. So this is the last kind of sum up of this, detailing what's going on now and what we're going to hope for the future. So at the moment, hang on, let me show you because it's probably easier. I still am featuring a lovely, well, it's nice and clean at the moment, but this is one of my drain bags. I had 3 of these attached to my side. I could probably actually show you this. I've had plenty of these. I've got little videos and clips I'll put throughout this so you can see some of the trauma that I have lived through. But this is one of my bags, and they wouldn't let me remove it at the end after they said I could go home, because in case I still had poison inside my system. Oh, okay, so right at the end of this, okay, right, we're going to tell you some trauma that happened right at the end, because this nearly actually killed me off. We got the news that we were going to be coming home, and I had 2 lovely ladies come. Sorry, I had two lovely ladies come from, I think they were called surgeons. They used to come around every day in like bunches of people to tell you what their plan was for the day. And on this last day, they turned round and everyone said, "Oh, we think that you're well enough to go home. You've been ticked off of your what are they called?
Physiotherapist.
My physiotherapist said it was fine for me to go home.
Dietitian. Blood work.
Blood work was coming down. I had lots of platelets, they called it. Obviously, with being infected, they were much higher than they should have been.
There's a higher risk of your blood clotting, wasn't there?
Yeah, so I was given stomach injections to stop,
To thin your blood.
to thin my blood to make that better. And it was coming down day by day because they were doing daily blood tests. Obviously, I've had lots of holes and punctures, and I've still got a few bruises. You probably can't hardly see them now, but you probably can see them in the pictures that I'm going to add throughout this. So yeah, I got ticks for everything, and yeah, so we had lots of groups of people come around and say, yes, it's home today.
You were told that 4 days in a row.
4 days in a row. So of course, every day I was crushed. Wasn't good for husband because it normally happened as the time he had to go. So of course I would just sit there crying all night thinking I'd be going home to see my kids and my cats. And yeah, so traumatized again by the idea of going home and seeing my kids and then being crushed. Obviously, the husband did bring them up to the hospital to come and see me a couple of times, but it's not quite the same as going home. And so yeah, at the end I felt like a spider under a glass, because every time I thought that I could escape, a glass put straight back over me again, and I was trapped in the hospital. So yeah, they said, yes, you can go home. We were happy because it actually got some paperwork. And once you got that paperwork, normally it means you can go home. They were sorting out my medication. Obviously, I'm on lots of medication still. My husband's been hand feeding me tablets because I'm awful at tablets. And so yeah, we were happy as anything. And then what time was it? About 8 o'clock?
It was about 7 o'clock.
About 7 o'clock, some doctor came in and said, we're not happy with you going home tonight. So, of course, I was trying so hard not to cry and get myself all in a state. Again, it was the time my husband had to leave, if he was going to leave. And yeah, I was kind of like, no, I'm going home. I've been told I'm going home. I've got the paperwork and I'm going home. So
I had to pull the angry husband face.
he did. He had to. Basically, I said, you know, they took all the. I had
something called a PICC line, which is an intravenous drip line, but it's more permanent, so it can stay in your body for up to 2 years. And what that does is it goes up from, it's placed here, and it goes up and then sits just above your heart. And yeah, it's quite severe. It takes about an hour and a half to be put in. And they had taken that out.
And they're taking out my
your other intravenous drip line.
So I didn't have any of them in. And I was basically ready to go.
Yep, we were all packed, sitting there. And then some little nurse come over and said, no, we're not happy with the way it looks underneath one of your dressings. So you're not going home. And I argued with the doctors and I argued with the nurses, and I proved that I'm slightly more observant than them. And that the green fluff, as they were calling it,
Green fluff
wasn't infection. It was just where the dressing over one of her wounds, where one of her drains was, hadn't been changed since they removed the drain, and that was just excess old drain fluid. And the doctor was like, oh yes, well I saw that too. And I was like, yeah, bollocks, did you?
But yeah, it was so, like, I said to them, if you don't let me out of here, I'm literally going to sign myself out myself, because I just had enough at this point. So we did get the yes in the end. They had to call a senior doctor.
A senior surgeon doctor, and they just said, why are you still keeping them there? They can go home with a bag. So
yeah, I didn't have to sign myself out of hospital in the end. But yeah, we got out. And yeah, I do have an appointment on Wednesday and I'm terrified about it. So yeah, back to the hospital on Wednesday, hopefully to take this last last drain out of my side. And yes, and hopefully just carry on with some more tablets until I'm well again. They have found another issue with me, but that's something a bit different I can talk about maybe another time.
Nothing serious. Nothing
like what I've had. Something very common. But yeah, there's a whole different thing, and they're trying to mix that in with the bag now as well. But yeah, I will keep you updated. And yeah, thank you so much for coming along and watching this video. It's been quite a hard one to get out because, of course, it's very it didn't happen that long ago, and it's still
kind of like putting salt in a wound.
Yeah, but you guys need to know, and I think it's
ripping off the bandage.
If anyone else has been through this experience, please, like, tell me what it was like for you. How did you find it?
Or don't. If it's going to cause you some sort of mental trauma, don't.
Oh my goodness. Like, the quicker I can forget about this experience, the better, I think, for my mental health. Mental health has been probably the main issue for me through this. the pain I obviously still got in my shoulders, and hopefully that's going to go within a few weeks or so from the gases from the keyhole surgery. It's very strange having all this stuff done down here and it hurts up here. It doesn't make sense in my mind, even that, but there we go. And yeah, have a lovely day. Thank you so much for coming along and watching. I hope it all made sense. Any questions you can ask. And yeah,
One of us will answer your questions.
we'll try our hardest.
I'll even keep an eye on the comments of this video so I can answer too.
But yeah, we are. I think we're stronger together
Yes.
as a couple for sure. And this has just been like the biggest nightmare ever. And
If you want to know how I dealt with all the kids and an insane wife while she was in hospital, feel free to ask the
oh my
questions.
goodness, I feel so bad for him. And thank you, husband,
No problem.
for sticking
I'd
by.
do anything
If I
for
didn't
you,
see
you know,
this man's face every day, I literally would have gone crazy. I think I never would have come out of hospital. Thank you,
That's all right.
husband. And thank you guys for everything.
And I'd like to also say thank you to everyone who made a donation on Star Raven's GoFundMe. She is in the process of treating herself with lots of lovely gifts from you guys. And
Thank you.
she will be doing unboxing videos and stuff from all the lovely stuff that you have been buying her. And I appreciate all of your support as well. So thank you so much for everything that you guys have done. And Countess, you're a legend. Lucky Blake, you're a legend as well. Thank you so much for help sharing the GoFundMe. I really appreciate you guys' support.
See you later. Thank you so much. Bye. Big Goth hug to you all. And don't forget, like, you got something wrong with your stomach, go check it out sooner than it would be that bad. See you later. Bye.
Be weird.
Be yourself.
Be different.
Bye.
Otherwise, you're just
boring. Bye, everyone.
Bye.